Gemini, the amorous nature. You and Gemini woman, when you meet this coquette, you are likely to become enchanted, for she casts a spell better than Merlin. However, her love affairs have a touch of the casual, and even when she becomes deeply involved or marries, there will be as much friendly feeling as heavy-breathing passion. Many men who agree that Gemini women are fascinating think they are too difficult to figure out. If you keep her dual nature firmly in mind, you won't be so confused. There is a part of her that needs love and security, to be coddled, catered to, looked after, made to feel she is the most important woman in the world. But the stronger part of her nature needs stimulation and novelty. There is an irrepressible frivolity to the personality of this high-spirited, pleasure-loving woman. Gemini's secret fantasy is to be a smoldering and languorous femme fatale. But in real life she just doesn't have the patience, much less the time. Besides, half the men she meets aren't worth the effort, they're too dull. She has a connoisseur's appreciation for a really interesting man, but if an affair loses zest, she looks for the escape hatch. When love goes out the window, she doesn't waste time wondering where it went. A bad experience is quickly put out of mind. In order to fall in love again, she knows that she must forget having been in love before. Sometimes in the game of seduction she can appear heartless because, while trying to keep you head over heels about her, she's also calculating whether you're worth her attention. She experiences sexual desire in her mind before it becomes a reality. As a lover, she's quick-tender. She has an endless sexual curiosity and a charming willingness to experiment. Sometimes she tends to emphasize too much the physical responses of sex and fails on the emotional follow-through. That's because, basically, she doesn't commit herself too deeply or reveal herself too openly. Gemini woman is inclined to be restless and changeable, and is often not satisfied with just one man on her string. Her dualistic and fickle nature demands more than one man can usually provide. To fulfill all her needs, he must satisfy on several planes at once, mental, emotional, and sexual. Variety is the name of her game. All this makes a problem if you are out to become number one in her life. You have to be a composite man who can interest her on both a sexual and a mental level. If you can, she will be your devoted companion, faithful lover, and all seasons charmer. You can almost be sure of her. She likes to think her love is greater than that of the one she loves, a subtle form of control that is both a reproach and an encouragement for him to prove otherwise. Don't take what Gemini woman says at face value. Even if she believes what she says, there's another motive behind the apparent one. Underneath her bewildering variety of masks, however, there is a solid, enduring person who shows her real face when she is in love. Then she may become quite possessive and is even inclined to be jealous. It's a rare lover who can deceive her and get away with it. But why would he want to? Tempestuous, brilliant, vibrant, and witty, she's more than enough for any man. You and Gemini man, he's the world's best date, quick-witted, charming, interested in his companion, generous, and imaginative about places to go and things to see. A date with him is like an entertainment that never ends. Women are drawn like moths to the bright flame of his vivacity, his zest for living. And like moths, women flare briefly in his life and are gone. It won't do any good to try to pin him down. See that bright flash of color in the garden? It's a living butterfly, not a specimen in a case. Enjoy it while you can. Its stay will be brief. This Mercury-ruled man loves women, which is one of his secrets of success with them. The Gemini man is genuinely interested in what women have to say, how their minds work, what he can learn from them. But he also needs his minimum daily requirement of fun, and when the fun leaves a relationship, so does he. Just as a woman begins to take him seriously, he vanishes in a puff of smoke. The truth is that the Gemini male is made uneasy by too much emotion, by a woman who takes love too seriously. He thinks sex is fascinating because it continually renews itself, but love is terminal. Curiously, though, many Gemini men tend to get involved with intense, emotional women. Of course, they don't usually stay involved. Something about women who live on a dramatic level, who really feel emotions and express them, intrigues and fascinates Gemini. It's as if through them he hopes to uncover a new facet in himself. If you ask him why he flits from one female to another, he'll tell you it's because he's searching for his own identity, or the perfect love, or some elusive goal of perfection. He was born under the sign of the twins, and in a way he is looking for his astral twin, the spiritual soulmate who will complete his nature and put an end to his duality. It's all too easy for you to fall into this man's silken web. He's a past master at the art of seduction. Many a woman has begun a friendly relationship with a nice, seemingly unaggressive, intellectual Gemini, only to find herself in bed with him, and not quite sure how she got there. A variation of this approach is when he seems not to be interested, or is acting cool and indifferent, or is even pursuing someone else for a time. Then when you start making an effort to attract him, it's too late. He slipped the halter around your neck. As a lover he has imagination, assurance, and flair, but he may not seem fully committed. His attention is always partly occupied elsewhere. A romance will prove intriguing and exciting but may not survive the rough spots. The initial glow rubs off, the flame starts to sputter. No regrets, though, when smoke gets in your eyes. He's been fascinating to know. Meet them on the high ground. Gemini's interests are wide rather than deep. They know a little about everything, but not much about any one thing. If you know one thing well, you'll impress them. Gemini likes to give a friend or a lover a kind of IQ test. If you pass, you're welcome. You can even choose the subject on which you're being tested. Books, music, art, politics, Gemini is interested in all. Beware of being too smugly conservative or conformist. In Gemini's scoring this rate is dull. However, speak your mind frankly on any subject. Gemini admires candor and honesty, and a good exchange, even of contrary opinions, can be a firm foundation for better acquaintance. Don't try to match wits, unless you're sure you have the verbal ammunition. Geminis of either sex wield words as weapons. Geminis enjoy intellectual talk but they also love gossip. If you know any interesting anecdotes about the famous, near famous, or even just mutual acquaintances, you'll have an appreciative audience. Geminis are also fond of anyone who can make them laugh. Want to give a gift? Bracelets and rings will set off their expressive hands. Or give them something to stimulate their busy minds, books, word games, puzzles, interesting computer software, the latest dictionary. Warning: Geminis are deeply sensitive, and need to have people around they trust. Never give them a reason to suspect you are playing fast and loose with them, even if you are. And don't you be suspicious of them. Nothing distresses Geminis more than to have their motives distrusted. How to attract Gemini? Gemini and Aries. This lively, energetic pair can be good friends as well as good lovers. They thrive on activity, adventure, and variety, enjoy each other's humor, and like social life. Aries will probably make the decisions because Gemini has difficulty in that area. There will be bedroom hijinks, for both are enthusiastic about sex. Aries' domineering streak will give Gemini the firm direction it needs, and Gemini's occasional wanderings from the straight and narrow will keep Aries on its toes. Gemini and Taurus. An unpromising match, though at the beginning Taurus responds to Gemini's sparkle and Gemini is intrigued by Taurus's uncomplicated directness. But Taurus wants life to be stable and ordered, while Gemini is easily bored and looks for new experiences. Taurus is devoted to home sweet home, while Gemini follows the lure of the open road. Gemini finds Taurus's love-making a bit on the dull side, and also resents the restrictive net Taurus tries to construct. In turn, jealous, possessive Taurus can't handle Gemini's outside dalliances. Passion's cool. Gemini and Gemini. You won't find a more versatile, charming, or vivacious pair. These two will never bore each other, for they are interested in everything. The pace is frenetic, but neither would dream of slowing down. They are fascinating conversationalists, have tons of friends, and together they'll throw some marvelous parties. Sex is fun and games. But this couple is also superficial, unstable, and very restless. When they move out of the bedroom, everything becomes too chaotic, even for twin Geminis. Gemini and Cancer. Passionate Cancer fulfills Gemini's physical needs, and Gemini's cheerfulness brightens Cancer's disposition. But all too soon Gemini's tendency to play at love wounds oversensitive Cancer. Flirtatious Gemini makes Cancer feel very insecure, and an affair is likely to be volatile. These two have too little in common for a long-term relationship. Cancer needs security and domesticity. Gemini loathes being tied down. Gemini hasn't any patience with Cancer's moodiness, and Gemini's sharp tongue is too biting for Cancer's fragile ego. They are doomed to a downhill run. Gemini and Leo. An affectionate pair who really enjoy each other. Gemini's amorous playfulness finds a responsive partner in eager, extroverted Leo. Leo's self-confidence blinks at Gemini's flirtatiousness with others. Gemini's penchant for ridicule can annoy regal Leo, though, and Leo will probably demand more adoration than Gemini is willing to give. Socially, each tries to upstage the other, but they have a lot of fun together doing it. They both love to laugh, and in bed they set off sparks. What more can they ask? Gemini and Virgo both are Mercury-ruled and have a mental approach to life. But similarity ends there. These two are star-crossed from the beginning. Virgo considers Gemini scatterbrained and immature. Gemini thinks of Virgo as a stick in the mud and a bore. Virgo's analytical approach seems like indifference to Gemini. Virgo looks on Gemini's busy social life as superficial and a waste of time. Virgo is critical, Gemini is tactless. Passions run on a low thermostat, their sex life soon turns chilly. Gemini's eye is certain to rove. Gemini and Libra. These two air signs are well suited intellectually and every other way. They are stimulating companions who will enjoy a light-hearted, lovely affair. Neither is combative and they're likely to agree on everything. They are affectionate, fun-loving, and like social life, entertaining, and travel. Sexually both are fervent, neither is jealous or demanding, and Libra goes along with Gemini's taste for experiment. Their one problem is that they both love to spend money. Otherwise it's a perfect match. Gemini and Scorpio. Gemini's imagination and Scorpio's dynamism would make a good combination if only these two were able to get along together. There is combustion in the bedroom, but they soon find out that sex isn't everything. Scorpio is sensual, passionate, demanding, jealous, inflexible. Gemini is fickle, flighty, superficial, light-hearted, changeable. Gemini is a social creature, Scorpio likes privacy. Scorpio's suspicious nature is in constant turmoil over Gemini's casual attitude about love. It won't be long before enough becomes too much. Gemini and Sagittarius. These two are opposites in the zodiac and are attracted to each other like magnets. They'll especially enjoy each other's minds, for both have wide-ranging and varied interests. Sagittarius tends to be more intellectual, Gemini more social. Both are too restless and argumentative, and both need freedom. They may be disappointed sexually, since neither is demonstrative, and Gemini is very quick to criticize. This affair probably began impulsively and will end the same way. Gemini and Capricorn. Gemini's freewheeling, anything-goes attitude meets opposition from conventional, steady, conservative Capricorn. Capricorn worries about security, while Gemini frets about losing its liberty. Order and routine keep Capricorn content, but drive Gemini to distraction. Gemini's need for a stimulating existence does nothing to make Capricorn feel secure. And Capricorn's sober outlook puts a damper on Gemini's high spirits. This isn't an affair with high voltage, but Gemini can help develop Capricorn's sensual potential. Gemini and Aquarius. Versatile Gemini and innovative Aquarius get along famously. They share a taste for novelty, travel, meeting new people. Because both are unpredictable, things can't always go smoothly. But love keeps getting better, for Aquarius adores Gemini's wit and good cheer. If Gemini is somewhat inconstant or unstable, Aquarius understands. If the affair should end, they'll still remain friends. In marriage, these two are affectionate, devoted companions more than passionate lovers. Gemini and Pisces, the passion quotient is high, and so are the problems. Emotional Pisces is too easily hurt by thoughtless Gemini. Gemini is mischievous and playful, but Pisces is sensitive and takes things to heart. Each practices deception in his or her own way. Gemini dissembles, Pisces won't deal with reality. Gemini needs freedom and new vistas, Pisces needs unending adoration. Pisces just can't feel secure with good about Gemini, and tries to pull the net tighter. The claustrophobic atmosphere eventually makes it hard for Gemini to breathe.